Hi, I'm Aaron Fioro from Big Spring, Texas, and I'm playing at Gizmo's Game Factory, and I'm going to be showing you my black-blue devotion deck.
Alright.
Let's start with the lands. First, we have Transguild Promenade, and I like the idea of being able to tap for any color. Having to tap one, or it sacrifices a little drawback, but it's a good card, and I'll tell you why here in the future. Next, we have Watery Grave. Just Shocklands are just great, just to have the ability just to use either black or blue just by playing 2 life. Temple of Deceit. Even though it comes in taps, I like scrying one just to know what I'm getting next. It really helps the game out if you know what you're getting, if you want it or not, and then just draw, take it. And then we got 7 swamps, and 7 islands. Plus a nice spoiler one. Look at that there.
Yeah, it does look nice there. Alright, moving on.
Moving on. Now we got the Judges Familiars. The Judges Familiars are good 1-drops. It's a 1/1 flyer, pretty much. Can counter a sorcery, and it's really good for the beginning game. They play a spell, you don't want to sack a judge, and it pretty much deals with any spell they have. Going into mid-game, it's not really good for that. You can sack multiple of them, but it's really good as a 1/1 flyer. Next, we have Pack Rats. I like Pack Rats just because they're cheap and they get big as you go, and pretty much if they get rid of your opponent's cards because they keep saying, get rid of it, so, and they pretty much build up. Nightville Spectre, my favorite card in the whole deck. Nightville Spectre is great just to be able to take my opponent's card, which comes in with Transguild Promenade. Pretty much it's good for any deck you play. If you have a Transguild Promenade and you attack with Nightville Spectre and you take one of their white cards, Transguild Promenade, you just play it. Now we got Master Waves. Master Waves is a pretty good card just for the tokens, pretty much board presence and a distraction also. It can be a winning strategy, but it's more of a distraction than anything else. Then we have Thassa. Thassa's a good 3-drop just to be able to scry. Knowing what I get is a very, very important part of this deck, knowing what I get. If I don't know what I'm getting, then I just lose sight of what I'm going to do.
Jonathan, I'm about to beat the crap out of you.
Okay. Here's another devotion card. It's going into Grey Merchant. Grey Merchant's just a powerful card. Just I have many permanents that give me devotion of black with Nightville Spectre. It's for both Master Waves and Grey Merchant, so it really does well in this deck just to be able to gain life, give me a little breathing room, and be able to do some stuff, and still taking damage to give me a little breathing room. Doomblade is just for destruction. We have destroying cards. Just any creature card is pretty good, and it's especially something I don't want out there if it's getting annoying. Doomblade it. Then we have Syncopate. Syncopate's a powerful card just for beginning game and mid game and later game, because you can just pay 1 blue and tap as many as you want to counter a spell unless they pay that many, and which is pretty powerful. Now here's something I don't think anybody's ever seen, is Stolen Identity. I have 2 Stolen Identities because of the cost, but the Stolen Identity pretty much gives me more power with my creatures, especially if I do it for Nightville Spectre or Grey Merchant. A cool combo I like using is Stolen Identity. If I already have a Nightville Spectre out and a Grey Merchant out, I play Stolen Identity, clone a Nightville Spectre, and then attack with cipher it onto my Nightville Spectre, attack with Nightville Spectre, and then also print another Gary. Pretty much doing a lot of damage in one turn just with the Stolen Identity. It also boosts up the Pack Rats. It gives me more counters with the Judges Familiars, boosts up my elementals for Master Waves, and pretty much, yeah.
So eventually creating a beat stick.
Yeah, just eventually just making a monster. Next we have Duress and Thoughtseize. We have 2 Duress because we can, even though we can only get rid of a non-land, non-creature card, it's still good to get rid of their counter cards or their big spells like, say, Anger of the Gods, stuff like that. And Thoughtseize is for cards like getting rid of their good creatures, and with this deck you don't really want to lose too much life with it. If you lose too much life, it's pretty much a dud. Okay. Going into the enchantments, we have Domestication. Domestication's great just for when they have a lot of. I've seen a lot of creatures, decks with creatures that have power 4 or less. So Domestication pretty much gets those creatures, takes them away from them. Plus, it gives you Devotion to Blue, and you can just use their creature against them over and over again. Then we have the Whip of Erebos. Whip of Erebos gives me Devotion to Black, and the creatures having lifelink helps out too with the Judge's Familiars and the Night Veil Specters. Usually they're not going to be able to block it, so I'm going to keep gaining life over and over again. Plus the Devotion to Blue from Gary. Also, when its tapping ability is great in this deck because of Grey Merchant. Grey Merchant is useless if you have him out there. He's just sitting there. Pretty much he's only a blocker. It's okay if he dies. That's why you have the Whip. Bring him back, Gary. Bring the Gary back with the Whip. Gary's ability pops off again. And the Whip is pretty versatile with all these others. Pretty much giving a Pack Rat, bring out a Pack Rat, pay 3, get another Pack Rat. The Pack Rat exiled, you get another. But mostly for Night Veil. Night Veil Spectre comes back, attack for 2, and you get more cards. Be able to play them, gets rid of them. Pretty solid.
It'd also be good against the Master Waves because of all the tokens you get. There are 2/1s. Mm-hmm. So if you have the Bident in there, which is a good idea, tap it, make all your opponents attack you, block with useless creatures or remove them, and then swing for a heck of a lot of life.
Yep, and definitely if you already have a Master Waves out and one you're a graveyard, to having the Master Waves out for just 1 turn is okay. To have more tokens, and you have a greater build on your creatures because all elemental gets +1/+1. They stack, so your elemental gets +1/+1, 2+1/+1 counters on it, and then they just swing.
Well, not counters; they're just +1/+1.
Yeah, just +1. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we know.
All right, and that's my Black Blue Devotion deck. If you have any tips on what I can do to make this stronger, just leave it in the comments section.
And please like and subscribe. So.
Yeah. Thanks.
And
Peace.
sign out.